Thank you, Mr. President. Perhaps I'll be our last speaker, colleagues. Who knows? I do think it's important to point out that the pattern of behavior that we have been witnessing in Minnesota and Minneapolis actually is simply an escalation of what's been going on for a year now. The federal government under the Trump administration has repeatedly violated fundamental rights protected by the U.S. Constitution. They've attacked free expression, they've crushed peaceful assembly, they've choked the free press, they've ignored judicial orders and due process, they've inflicted cruelty on detained individuals. Now it's also that they've murdered 2 Americans, Alex Preddy and Renee Good. And the thing is, Alex Preddy was peacefully attending a public protest. He legally possessed a concealed firearm. It wasn't visible. He didn't approach ICE agents brandishing a gun, despite Secretary Noem's outrageous comments to the contrary. He was simply holding his phone, filming the agents. So Alex Preddy was doing exactly what every law-abiding American gets to do. He was exercising his constitutional rights. He was following gun laws written by Republican legislators. He was carrying legally and protesting peacefully. And for that, he was murdered in cold blood. And now Republicans, starting with President Trump, are blaming Alex for his own death. They are using his possession of a gun to justify ICE agents killing him in the streets of Minneapolis. And for good measure, they've trashed his reputation, smeared his name, and inflicted even more pain on his grieving family. So let's be clear that this is not about public safety. This is about power and following the orders of the president. So Trump, his administration, and this Republican Party have been willing to turn their backs on the First, Fourth, Fifth, and Eighth Amendments. The first, now trampling peaceful protest. But what's truly unbelievable is watching Republicans turn on their favorite amendment, the Second Amendment, defending the killing of a citizen for legally carrying a gun, because Alex was legally armed. So the same politicians that made Kyle Rittenhouse, a 17-year-old who went to a protest illegally carrying an AR-15 and murdered 2 people, the same people that made that guy a folk hero are now silent. The same politicians and Republican Party that have told us for decades that more people carrying more guns in more places makes all of us safer are now silent as Preddy is brutally murdered by his own government because he had a gun. That is hypocrisy, but far more than that, that's authoritarianism. So again, the administration is making free speech, peaceful assembly, and lawfully carrying a firearm offenses punishable by death in America. And we just don't, I know you think, oh, they keep going on about it. Well, that's because we don't hear Republicans defending our rights, denouncing the killings, and most importantly, standing up to the Trump administration. We also heard that we Democrats refused to name Laken Riley in 2024, which is not true because our former leader and myself both expressed our disgust over her murder. And for you, Senator from the 56th, yeah, we want to get criminals off the streets, illegal alien criminals and other criminals. We support that. But we do not support the running amok of a federal government at the orders of one man who's installed only lieutenant minions to carry out his orders within his administration, trampling, destroying the rights of Americans, and killing them for exercising those rights. And that's why everyone's angry, and that's why everyone's scared. This is not what they wanted and not what they voted for. The Constitution is not a page of suggestions. It is a foundation for our society. Even though Donald Trump thinks only his own morality is the only thing that can stop him from doing what he wants. That's what he said. That's what he told the New York Times. Well, I'm here to say, actually, it's the Constitution. And we do expect Republican legislators to make that clear for Georgians. I urge a hearing on SR 605 immediately. That is why the senator from the 14th and Senate Democrats have filed it. It reaffirms our constitutional rights in the face of these attacks. And I think it will be pretty telling if we don't have a hearing on SR 605. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield.